Hey, it is May 28th, 2024. Can you believe we're already in June? Well, a couple of more days, but we're June, like halfway through 2024 almost. Like it's crazy, but super, super exciting. Like I am excited. I don't know about you, my friend. How's 2024 been for you? We haven't seen each other in a little while here on the show.
Yeah, we haven't, but it's been great, man. Obstacles, challenges, as much as I hate them, I need them because they make me and help me grow. How about you?
So, well, yeah. Talk more about that for a second, please. Like, what's some insight there?
It's the growing pains. It's pretty cool actually. My wife Misty, right? Misty was she went to an event for something to do with keeping a positive attitude through changes in the workplace. And she came back and she thought it was a genius event because she thought of me when she was listening to the speaker. And why she did that is because the speaker had this specific visual, which she gave business cards of the think of the Geico, um, mascot, right? So it's pretty much that is like a lizard, right? And basically what she was saying, the lady speaking, is that, which I did not know this, that lizards, they need to shed skin and that's how they grow. She said that if the
Mm.
lizard does not shed any skin, it dies. And I thought, wow, that's like, I did not know that, even if it was fake, you know, which I verify it is true. That is such a powerful point of view,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
100%.
it's pretty much the whole concept was to adapt to change, but also the change comes with growth.
Right.
Like you
From within.
can't from within, right? You cannot grow and want change, or you cannot disregard change and not want to grow. It's like it's just part of life. So I thought, man, that's pretty cool. And I learned that lesson. And obviously, looking back at the beginning of the year, I have shed a lot
Yeah. Yeah.
and grown to the point where if I had not gone through certain things and challenges and obstacles, it pretty much I will be still stuck or maybe even worse than I started the year with. And I can't tell you it was a difficult transition through go to challenges. And as you know that I hate challenges. I don't like them.
Who does? Like, I don't know. Not many people like
Right.
the challenge, right? When you're in it, you're
Okay.
like, Dan, you
I
know,
know. It's like it sucks, but man, it's just part of growth. And so it's again, it's pretty cool to see it in another industry from another person that we are not related in the same industry at all. We would not met, have not met at all. But her message, even through my wife, impacted me to make sure that I keep going and shedding skin, right? So I can
yeah,
grow, grow, grow.
that is so epic. Thank you for sharing that one. Are you? It kind of reminds me of the analogy. It's not an analogy, but or maybe it is. Are you familiar with sharks and
Mm-mm.
their? So I'll attach it because not only shedding the skin and growing from within to grow, when it comes to momentum, like that you're always moving forward. If a shark stops swimming, it dies.
Mhm.
Did you know
Oh,
that?
no, I did not.
So a shark has to continue swimming all the time. So it's always moving. It's always moving. And that's a great analogy for
Mm.
business is like it's always moving. You
Wow.
always got to be moving. Always got to be moving.
Yeah.
So you
Wow,
pair
that's
the two
pretty
together
cool.
and it's like no, you're
Yeah,
always moving or
you
else you die.
do. And you know what? Uh, so through I think it was 2 weeks ago, possibly three now. I found myself reading that book from Dr. Joseph Murphy, the power of your subconscious mind.
Wow. Okay.
And it took me that weekend to read it through, but I can't tell you what a powerful experience it was. because nothing is coincidence, right? Everything happened for a reason. For
Mm-hmm.
me to hear all that message from my wife, for me to go through
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at this book which I haven't read maybe in over 10 years,
Mm.
and I pick it up, I read it, a new light. Like I'm
Yeah.
thinking, this was here, or one of the first ones that caught my attention was that you have to be telling your subconscious mind exactly what you want before going to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Programming
And
for sure overnight like that.
right? And I thought, I checked myself out. I'm like, oh yeah, I missed that. Okay, let me start again.
Yeah.
So little things like that. And so yeah,
And
that's a book that, man, anybody needs to pick that up.
I don't know. You got to give me the title again of that because I haven't read that one. But I know that, I work with a lot of people who are really into a lot of the manifestations or just, programming the subconscious mind. And I've been doing a lot of that for a long, long time, but not to the degree like I would call myself an expert. But there was something that I recently learned that, and I forget where I learned it from, but it was the power of intentional and specification, or specificity, I should say. And you know me, I'm all about specificity. Like, how much money do you want to make? Like, I want to make a lot of money. How much money? Like, that's kind of what I do. And
Mhm.
and so it was like, and this might be in the book to some degree, where it's like, well, you're telling the universe or your subconscious exactly what you want, right? So if an example would be, I want to make more money, right? Like, let's say that, and forget about specificity for a second. I
Mhm.
want to make more money.
Mhm.
The universe is, and you're not making more money for years. The universe is delivering exactly what you want. Think about what I just said.
Mhm. Want.
Right. I want to make more money, not I am making more money, right?
It's
Completely
a
different thing. And that blew me away. I'm
completely
like,
different.
oh, wait a minute.
Mhm.
So it is
Mhm.
delivering what I want. It's saying, well,
Mhm.
you want to want more money, so I'll give you that tomorrow again. I want to make more
Mhm.
money. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
It makes sense. Yeah,
Like,
it's like yeah, for me personally, so transparency moment for me is that with you. I always do that with you. I know it's just you, it's not the whole world watching.
not at all. There's nobody
Right, it's
watching.
nobody else watching. But but basically it I had to reprogram myself to think different about wealth, because I
Yeah.
had two negative uh, connections to that, and it was hurting me. One was my family, right? So we grew up poor, not having enough always, and relying on even food stamps. Okay, so that for me was like, who can be wealthy? Like, that's like for rich people. So that was my head, right? But then the other thing was, the other part that was messing with me was what the Bible says, right? What God said about wealth. And, you know, it's better to be poor than rich, and the rich is, not going to make it to heaven, and the poor will. There was a lot of things going on in my head that I had to switch that around. And all of a sudden, of course, like the book, there's so many books. You're right. There's so many books, so many programs, but it's the power of what you're thinking, your subconscious mind, what's actually the natural point of where you go without thinking. That's what we have to reprogram. So I had to finally, so for, obviously it helped to surround myself with the wealth, inner circle, like people who are actually making happen. So that took care of that.
Right.
But
Right.
with the Bible thing, the scripture, that was a little, it took me a little bit to kind of figure out how to do this. And sure enough, man, there is this one scripture that I found, and I'm leaning on that one all the time. It basically says, and I'm going to paraphrase, but it's in Proverbs 19 verse 4. I looked over here because I always keep it around, and and it basically says that the wealthy um, attracts more friends. Now, I went and talked to some, there was like this rabbi, and I'm like, what do you think about this? And so he kind of, I just said that. And he kind of started saying, oh, what that means. It could mean that, when you're rich, you forget about God because now everybody wants a piece of your money and they're going to come to you. They're going to beg for money. You're going to, eventually going to spend it all because, everybody wants a piece of what you just have. I said, okay. But then there's a second part to that same verse. And the second part says, the poor man loses even that one friend. A poor man loses that one friend, but a wealthy man gains friendships, gains a lot of friends. And I said, I could believe you about that, but unfortunately, that second part is basically to me. I mean, I'm not a scholar, but it really saying is it's all about the heart.
Mm-hmm.
If we have a wealthy mindset, that means that our heart means that it will attract more friends. Why? Because we're able to give, we're able to be there for someone, we're able to provide, or we're able to provide for our own family, or better yet, too, right? We're able to go without the restrictions of not having enough.
Right.
And therefore, our friendship, our circle expands, right?
Right.
Okay. But a poor man is trying to keep the last thing or possibly whatever they can. And by doing so, loses that one friend. So,
yeah. And then it's all down to loneliness.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's powerful stuff. You got to make sure you understand where the subconscious mind naturally leans towards. And then you have to find yourself looking for where you want to go and believe it in your heart, and it will come.
I love that. I am looking over here on the Facebooks, on the group, because I can't get the comments coming into here, but we have Lorna's here. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Collie. She's here. And so Lorna is saying, could this become a live stream of semantics? Watch out, Joey. I don't know what I was saying at the 5-minute mark. Lorna, can you come back and remind me? I want to try maybe to put it into, maybe I'll just copy and paste what she said. Hey, Christopher's here. Okay, so I will copy and paste her comments, and then at least we can bring those up. Let me just see here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And edit the background. I don't want it to be blue. I want it to be... Actually, yeah, maybe... Dang it. Text color. There we go. Text color, I'll do white. And then I'll add this. Okay, so let me just see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Like that. Whoops. Whoa. Hey, Joey. Whew. Hang on there, Tony. Let me go back into this one.
Maybe do a second line.
Yeah, edit text, everything you say. I'm trying to do this like on the fly. Okay, here we go. How's that?
There you go. How's that?
I am very powerful words because everything you say after them is what you'll experience. Lorna, listen to yourself. Right on. That's exactly. So I am, I have, I do, like that kind of thing. Very, very powerful. So I even have it right here, Eddie, like on my thing, my monitor. I have it every single day because one of my best friends helped me define one of my mantras or what I want, and I say that every single day. It's tattooed into my brain right now, and so that's so true. So I can see the comments here on the Facebook. It's too bad I can't get them into, but I'll just do it this way. There was something else though. Oh yeah, dude, like you were talking about a book. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, the power of the subconscious mind, the power of your subconscious mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. It's an old school, it's a classic. It's one of those that goes along with Think and Grow Rich kind of books, those back in the days.
Yeah. I was gonna, I'm trying to look for it. Why is it not here? That's kind of weird. It's usually on my desk. Oh, it's right. It's covered in papers.
Of course.
This book, you're familiar with this book?
Yes, I know. The period. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, this book is really helping, and I'm just going to turn to like a page that I have highlighted. I'm just going to flip and and everything you said at the top, I'm just going to read from this page because wasn't pre-planned or anything, but I'm just going to I'm going to read a section that I've highlighted, and I bet at least $5 because I do carry that kind of money around every day, that this is going to resonate with everything that you said. Watch.
Yeah.
What feels on the surface like rejection is often redirection. When you ask for a big life, you cannot keep fighting for a smaller one to stay. What does that mean?
Oh, that's good. When you ask for a
I
big
know, dude. I'll read it again, and you can see here it's on the page. Like I could read the whole thing, but I highlighted the bottom piece just to what's the really big message here?
Yeah.
What feels on the surface like rejection is often redirection. When you ask for a big life, which is I want to grow, you cannot keep fighting for a smaller one to stay. That means you got to get rid of your skin, shed the skin.
That's right.
See that? And dude, I just flip to the page,
powerful. Man. But I mean, come on now. We're human beings, and that's what we do, right? We want to change, but we don't like the process.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you're not even in this circle right here, you'll actually follow those who are completely going in the opposite direction or not moving at all, and so you will never know either way. So
got it.
That's powerful, man. Fighting for the little, like the small, like, oh man.
It's kind of like, I want this, but I'm not willing to change. I want to keep everything the same, but I want to be better. Yeah. No, it's not going to work like that.
No, that's right.
Oh. So I'm going to paste another one from Lorna in here. Oh, dang it. So hang on a minute. So here, this is going to be fun today.
That is crazy.
Isn't that a good one? Like everything that I read in that is good. Highly recommended for everybody. So let me bring this one to life. And this is what she says. Joey, you were talking about intention and expressing intention just before the I want versus I am. I love semantics of intentional talk. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's pretty much. Yeah. It's so neat to know that. Yeah. This is how I see it. Like the Star Wars. This is how I see things. I think that all of us have that Jedi Knight power in us. Yeah. And it's so cool for me to talk about this topic right now, because I can tell you that back in the 20s and 30s, when the marketers and the advertisers, when that was coming up, and then started going 40s and 50s and 60s, when the sales events and workshops and copy, all of this stuff, right? I feel like if you go back to those times, the books that were written those times, they were all into the mindset. Like,
interesting.
Most of the books, if you look at, like Think and Grow Rich, that one that I just told you about, The Power of Subconscious Mind, the Think, what's the other one, the Think Big or something like that. Like, if you go back to all of those, they're usually covering how important is the mindset. Now, if we come to today, well, I wouldn't say today. I think there's a shift happening still right now, but most recent years, maybe I say the past 10 years or 15 years, we got into the how to do it.
Yes.
There was a lot of how to do it, right? How to get things done. And I can tell you, that's why I said we're like Jedi Knights. It's almost like, those were the masters back in the days, even before those who wrote the book, by the way. I'm not, they just wrote it, but they interview people, they knew people, right? But they were the masters doing what we should be doing, especially now in today's time, is getting that power in us from within and letting it work for us. You've said this many times, and many other people have repeated this too. It's better to work smarter, not harder, right? How do you want to, you always ask, how do you want to spend your day? What do you want to do? And how much do you want to work? Well, that takes the ability to be able to be clear and to have specific set tasks and goals to reach. However, when you go to sleep, you talk to your subconscious mind, and you really, with a heart, you tell it what it is that you are going after, that you have, and that you're going after, and your subconscious mind starts to process things, and like you say, Joey, the universe starts to put things together. Why? Because the subconscious mind does not sleep.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, even when we're talking about the team building today and stuff, like I put that intention a long time ago because I was
Yeah.
having trouble getting what I needed or what I needed, what I wanted the thing to look like. And all I asked was, what do I need to do? It wasn't like I want this. It was more like, what do I need to do to get this? And then things moved and the universe moved to things and
There you
eventually it
go.
came into play and
Yep.
it showed me what was right there. It's kind of like, and anybody listening to this who thinks that we're woo woo, like it's just there. Like it's when you go buy a new car and it's a yellow submarine or it's a yellow Volkswagen, all of a sudden you start seeing yellow Volkswagens. So,
There you
but
go.
the yellow Volkswagens were already there. They were always there.
Always.
You just never saw them, and that's
Yes.
really the whole way of putting this into play. And
Yep.
and hopefully we'll get onto the topic of today. But even if we don't, who cares? Because this is a major
But
topic.
this is a major
This
topic.
is
That's
major.
right.
So I want to just give some props out here. Like Chris is saying, it seems like the present moment helps those who are failing forward or falling forward shed their skin to become who they desire to be. Yes.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so, wow, we got a lot of comments in the Facebook group. Let me just
Oh
go back to
man,
that.
might as well just read it, man, because you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be
for
all
sure.
night typing.
Some of them I'll just read. And this is your pivot year. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yay!
Yeah, so that is so, so cool. What's the book title again? It's The Pivot Year, Lorna. It's this one here. One of my absolute favorite authors now, like Brianna Weist, Pivot Year. And it's like a book of like, look, they're all like little short, little like just inspirational. Here's how you get through this. It's all like it's really really good stuff, and I pick this up and I read it every single day. So I haven't gone through the whole book yet. So then when I do go through the book, I'll just go back and probably next year I'll just flip to a page one day and just read it and go, wow, okay, I needed that little boost. And
And
so
the other one was the one that I was talking about was "The Power of Your Subconscious Mind" by Dr. Joseph. What? Joseph? Crap, I forgot.
I'm writing it down now.
Murphy.
Subconscious mind.
Joseph Murphy.
Joseph Murphy. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. The
Yeah,
power
maybe
of
she
your
was asking that. She
subconscious
didn't.
mind.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Joseph
Maybe she
Murphy.
was asking that too. So yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Good
Connie
stuff.
is asking like pivot work. Are you asking like what does that mean? So pivot is basically, in my understanding, is that you're you're basically going from where you are now to where you need to be, and there's this bridge. There's these blocks that are happening, like whatever you want to call them, challenges. You're frustrated about certain things. It's a pivot year. You're pivoting from one thing, like one who you are and what you're doing in your life, to something new and something more exciting. It doesn't mean always changing a career or changing a business or anything like that. It's basically becoming a new you and challenging your the old you and challenging that way of thinking. That's why it's so amazing, because I'll flip to another page that I've already read and highlighted. This one here is, so here's on page 17. Can you see that? It's page 17.
Yep. Yep. Over there.
So maybe this will help anybody listening. Maybe you should maybe you should learn to trust in what passes you by, so you'll begin to trust in what lands right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should trust that in what isn't working, because it might be trying to guide you to what will. Like,
That
dude,
okay. That is 100%.
I know it's
Because
100%.
That's 100% because man, what this is so cool. So here's the thing, right? We can see things, the challenges, the obstacles, the trainings, the new things, the uncomfortable things. We can see them as things happening to us or for us,
Right. Exactly.
right? Right?
Yes. Right.
And I'm telling you, this just happened to me, so I can speak to that. Is that from all those challenges right now, if I had not gone through them,
Right.
I would not have the next opportunities coming up because I am prepared from those times that I'm thinking, man, like I have to do this. But you know what? I feel super confident now because now I say, oh, I can do that. I've done that. So totally. Oh, that's good.
I know, and that's the hard part about it all. Like everybody knows this stuff. They've read a book, they've gone to a Tony Robbins event or something like that, right? Whatever. But it's when you're going through the crap, it's the hardest part of all. But the first time, like the hardest time. But then you go through it again, and you're like, wait a minute, I've already been through that. But it still sucks. It's still very, very hard. It's emotional. It's draining. It's all of that stuff. But the more you grow, the more you shed, the more you go through the challenges, and then you look back because you can't connect the dots, like Steve Jobs said, until you look backwards and say, oh, that's why all of this happened. That's why now but I've been like this for a long time of my life. Like I've been an entrepreneur for enough to know that this is going to be a really, really tough time. But I know on the other side of this is amazing. I just don't know what it looks like right now. So I'm okay with it, but it still sucks. I'm not, immune to it. But, when I look back at like my story of 2016, the most recent one, I tell that story over and over and over again. You're right. I would never have been like doing this today with you right now if I hadn't had gone through all that. Everything that has happened was because of that thing, was because of that. Even when the business went down in terms of revenue or whatever it is, it's like, well, why is this happening? What's going on? What can I learn from this? So I'm always looking at what can I learn? Where can I grow from this? Not why is this happening to me? Like I used to be in that mindset. So you're right about mindset. It's all about what is the universe trying to teach me? And this is not just something for anybody listening that if you first hearing this, you're like, you're full of it. And you're just talking about this thing to just use words, but it's absolute truth because, I don't practice religion a lot, but I know that there's one of the quotes would be, like God never puts something in front of you that you can't handle. Like something to that effect. And I truly believe that we are thrown into obstacles, challenges, all of that stuff because a higher being, a higher purpose, a higher, intelligence, whatever, knows we can handle it. It's just, we have to believe it. We have to sit there and go, no, I'm going to get through this. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
But the fact is that it's hard.
Yes.
It's really hard. And the thing about this too is that it's unexpected things as well.
Yeah,
so, so it's not like it's not, we're not talking about you being immune to things or, while you're going through it, be like a saint and say, oh, I've got this. And no, you have to go, you have to, I remember there was a call, Joey, years ago, and I think we got on the master call, and I remember being on my corner office over there, and I was standing up just like I always do, and I think I was so pissed off. I was like, things were not just working, and I just started like hitting this thing. I can't remember what it was, and
was it like your belt? No, it wasn't your weights or something, but it was.
No, but it was like it was like a round thing trying to break it, and I was like so upset. Like I'm thinking, like you just said, why the heck can I get this?
Yeah.
And then I started that, and then you went on, and you're like, dude, look at what I'm going through, and I'm like, and I started feeling like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yours is worse.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It wasn't trying to compare, but it was like to settle it down. But like, dude, I got you. Like, there's always somebody who at least understands it or is going through something worse. And again, it's not to compare, but yeah, I remember that day. I do.
But we have to, right. But we have to. I mean, it's painful. It's rough. But here we are, and lesson learned. And it's just, it is what it is. Anyone listening to this, watching this, take it for what it is. Either you go and learn and believe it for yourself, and this is your message, like go do this, or just don't. Just let it go, and you're gonna go through stuff and whatever. but it's true, and you have a way
100%.
out.
So Chris is saying allowing the power of intention manifests through authenticity, desire, and perseverance to achieve the desires of one's heart. Right on. And then he says, it seems the earth, school, and the universe merge together when one is trying to achieve their dreams. Yep, I love that. These are all great. Lauren is saying that she has the pivot year on Audible and forgot to listen to it. You're welcome for the, oops, where the, hey, look at that. Maybe I can do can I do that? I wonder if I could just go.
Whatever
No.
you just did. Oh, nope.
So there,
Yeah,
okay, there we go. Look at that. So I'm going to just close these. Hang on a minute. I could just do that, man. I could share. Wow. Okay, Joey.
Joey learned something new today. You see? And sometimes you
So
just
there, look at
stumble on
that. Look at
things.
that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, no, the wrong. Oh, so there it is. Okay. So Chris says, oh, I got to, yeah, I got to zoom out. There's the challenges. So Chris is saying, let me get rid of that other one. Go back. It's like, it's crazy that they don't allow you to put the dang things in.
Yeah,
See, learning in public, Chris, right? Go, Joey, go. Okay.
That's
So
awesome,
this one here, Chris, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to put that in. And so let me bring this one back up, and I got to edit it every single time. So drop this in here. Chris is saying, oops. It looks like we've hit a chord with everybody here today, Eddie. I don't know if we're going to talk about clarity calls.
It's not coincidence.
No, it isn't. One seam. Okay, so go here, and then moving forward. How's about that? And then another enter. Then let's try this one. So
Boom. There you go.
I'll let you read that, Eddie.
Yeah, one can see the challenges as stepping stones forward, or one can see them as speed bumps. That's very good. As speed bumps to get in the way of moving forward. Yeah, it all matters about intention, perspective, and seeking to understand the present moment. The present moment is important too. So, recently, I've heard. I don't even know where I heard it, but I think it was probably X, or formerly known as Twitter. Um, something to do with people just mentally fatigue. Mentally fatigue. And I can tell you that I went through that myself as well, so I can talk to that too. And all it is, I mean, seriously, is really it's a simple switch to turn off the things that are bombarding your mindset, your subconscious mind,
Yeah.
to stop, and to have control of what you actually want to put in. And that's what I had to do. So I believe what's happening out there in the world is that you see it all the time, man. Is people, this is what they're doing right here. Like, wait, right there.
Yep. Yep.
This is it. I see them going like this every time, everywhere I go, man. It's like I'm sometimes I think, man, if I was a thief, I could like easily just mug these people, like easy. So what's happening is that there's so much information happening in the world now. Forget just your local area where you live. It's just in the world.
Yeah.
And that is going into your subconscious mind. And that is what's keeping you restless, what's actually keeping you from looking at the positive, like what we just read, right? Instead of seeing them as bumps in the road, you won't be able to see them further than that, because you're always going to be complaining that, why is this here? Why do I have to go? Isn't there a better way? So it starts with being present, and that's what it takes. It takes disconnecting yourself from everything that is not helping, and being present with yourself, and then picking up a book, right? The pivot year, read it daily, listening to something good, talking to your subconscious mind before you go to bed, and be specific about it. Simple things like that. You cannot believe, just try it if you haven't done it. In 1 week, you'll see the difference. You'll feel different, but it takes that. It takes
100%. Yep. Natural lifestyle lounge. This is what I asked myself too. That's probably related to something else a little bit ago. Can you remind us of that if you're still here? Remind us. But yeah, and to your point, like this is man, we're on like a huge, great tangent here about this stuff because, you know, speaking of, because I've been doing the subconscious work for a long time, since like 2007, when I really dove into it and started doing that, and then even intentionally just giving myself the props. Like I might be standing in front of the mirror, man, and I might be going through something, and I'll go, you know what, man, you got this, and that's it. I'm just talking to myself in the mirror. I'm just pushing it back, and people might think that's crazy, but I'm like, man, everything's good. You're good. You're this. You're that. Right. And and it's not that I am down on myself. It's just that I'm giving my subconscious. Maybe I'm telling my subconscious, hey, you can figure this out. Sooner or later, you'll get this, right? And whatever it is, and let that happen on its own. So it's super powerful. And then the other thing about you said, like being in the present. I think a lot of people are here talking about the presence, and like. I talked about the presence in a lot, like for when I started teaching or coaching. One of the big things that I learned and witnessed was, and that's still true today, and it'll never ever change, that most people are either stuck in the past, regretting something, or they're worried about the future, which means they're not in the present, which means they're always worrying about, oh man, if I don't do this tomorrow, or I don't do this next week, or what's next year, whatever. Or damn, I wish I should have done that, blah, blah, blah. They're always there. They're not in the present moment. And I was usually, and still am, always in the present. Like this is happening today. Doesn't matter what I want. That's why I have sometimes trouble, if you want to call it that, in vision stuff. When you do the vision work, okay, what does your life look like in 3 years? What is that? I really have to work on it because I'm a present moment dude. I'm like,
Me too.
I kind of want this thing over here, but don't really care about that right now because I'm tripping over that bump that Chris just said in the road. Yeah. I'm smashing that bump down right now. Okay, yeah. I'm dealing with this.
Yeah.
Right. And there's good and bad positives in it. Right.
I'm the same way. Like, yeah. How I battle with that one is that, sure, I can't see that way too far. I really cannot. But I can see maybe end of the year, maybe in like half the year. Like that's to me, I can actually make it work better. I've had 100%. The experience before. I told you that I had an event, and 3 months before, I started just looking at myself in the event, at the event, talking on stage, speaking, getting the prize. I think they gave me gold, and it was an event that no one knew me. And it was my first event ever.
Epic. That's so epic.
So it took 3 months though, right? So like today, for example, I'm looking over here because it's my vision board, and I just got a printout of this. Did you know they make sticky pictures, photos, posters? It's really
cool. You mean
cool.
like Post-it pictures?
Yeah,
like Post-it notes?
So I peeled it off. I peeled it off, and then I just. Yeah,
that is so cool.
Cool. $6, man. I was like, heck yeah! It's big. It's 11 by 20, I think it is.
I love it.
So why I do that is because I have to visually see where we're heading for this year, right? But present. So you talked about it right now, and this is what I want to also say. You say that the future, like people are focused what's going to happen. People are focused what happened before, but never in the present. That's actually human. That's who we are as human beings. We have been, I don't know, just trained to do that because society and the world, that's actually what has bombarded us with that alone.
Well, that's okay. That's now though. But I would argue that it wasn't like that before.
No, it wasn't that before. But right now, and so because even the simplest thing as the weatherman. He's telling you this is what's going to happen tomorrow. This is what's about to happen in an hour. And it never happens the way they say it, right? But you are freaking out. Like my parents, man, they're usually calling me up like, are you feeling the hurricane? I'm like, what hurricane? like, but they already saw the damage and the destruction already. So that's bad, right? Because you're not living in the present. And then there are the depressed individual who is always regretting not
Yeah.
doing something
Yeah.
or wanting to live different now, but they can't because they're wishing right back
Yeah.
always.
I should have done this. I should have done that. And that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Most humans are, have been conditioned themselves to do that, because what I mean by the fact that I could argue the point was going back to like our ancestors, right? When they got up in the day, all they cared about was, where am I going to get food right now? Like, and that's it.
Totally.
And then they're running is like, I don't want to get killed by this thing chasing me. They didn't care about, I didn't get any food. Yes. They didn't get any food.
Nope.
What's going to happen tomorrow? No, it's like right now, what's going on? So they were always
And
in the present moment.
And
Right?
they were in that location. They didn't
Yeah.
have a newspaper showing up once a
Yeah.
week, to see what was going. No, it was pretty.
Yeah.
That was their world, right? So yeah,
100%.
so absolutely, right? So there's so many things, and this is again where we're really covering the importance of being present, but the connection between being present and also making sure that you're downloading the right thing to your subconscious mind, so
Right
that
on.
that's a powerful combination, and it'll work.
That's why these books are on my desk. That's why this is here. Like the whole ton of other stuff that's here, and the news is not on, and no newspapers, no nothing like that. It's like it's out of my field of vision. Something once in a while will go through, but even if it does, my conscious and my subconscious is like, what is this? What is this? It just totally rejects something. Which is why if you talk to me about anything kind of going on in the world, I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, because it's like, it's my subconscious is like this force field now, talking about Star Wars, right? Whatever. It's got this force field, like you're not getting in here.
Mhm.
So anyway, Natural Lifestyle Lounge, she says, I asked myself, what is the universe trying to tell me? What lessons do I need? Did I need to learn? Yes. What do I need to do next? I love that. Yes. So
Yeah.
it's so powerful when you can look at challenges, even how much they suck, and ask, what am I supposed to learn from this? It's so
Yeah.
much more powerful. And like,
And
I'm totally into this kind of stuff.
and you know what? Another thing I feel like someone needs to hear this, that you're an individual. You're practically unique, a unique person.
Well, you
So
are
don't
unique, not
feel
practically.
right. Yeah, you are, because don't feel like you have to be like me or Joey or anybody else that you're reading through books. There are good books for you to learn the story so that you be encouraged, but don't feel like, oh, I can never be like that, or I can never do that because of this person's the way they are. No, it's actually it's an incredible experience, because when you read something, when you learn something, and you do get it, when you do get it and you make it part of you,
Hmm.
it's amazing. It becomes you, like it fits who you are. So just understand that we're telling you all the stories. We've been through this stuff. We go through this stuff. um and I'm just real with people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it hurts. I've cried, and it's hurt, but man, it's just because of what I believe, because of the people that I'm around, because the books that I've read, because of the events that I've been, because the
Hmm.
belief, my faith that I know that God will never leave me nor forsake me. Because of all of that, I'm
Hmm.
able to make it one more day.
That's it.
You
That's
know,
all you need is just one more day. Like I remember, and that's a powerful what you just said. And then we're going to go back. I think who said this? This is Collie, by the way. We'll come back to it in a second. It's very powerful. And I forget who said this again, but it was again about business, about giving up. I forget who. So forgive me if you're watching this. I see you in my head. I can't remember now. Anyway, this is the quote. It was kind of like, when I wanted to give up, and it was, who was this? Ah, dang it. Anyway, it was like somebody would be telling their father or mentor or something, that's it, it's over. Today's the day. And they said, just one more day. Just stick it up for one more day for me. Can you do that? Cool. And they would go to the next day. Another couple of days would go by, like, I'm out. I'm done. Just one more day. Can you do that? Okay, I can do it one more day, right? So that's always, right? It's always pushing it to that next day to never give up. And
Mhm.
it kind of reminds me of even when the Profit First, when I started doing Profit First, and learning how to control my money, because it was like I wasn't really good at controlling money and everything else. And one of the things I took from that book was the next day thing. Like, oh, I want to go buy a PlayStation. I'll buy it tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow. Right. And then the next day, same thing. I'm going to go get that PlayStation. I'll just wait another day. And you never, you never buy stuff you can't afford or whatever, because you're trying to get out of debt or whatever it is. Anyway, kind of related to that. So,
let's see. It's so
Collie
vital.
says-
Who wrote this?
Collie.
Collie. It's so vital for me to include and acknowledge my challenges. Yes, for all of us. I love the scripture, faith without works. Action is dead. Yes, because unless we take action, we sit in yoga posture and do mudra and visualize, but there's no action. If no action, then what, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. That's funny she said that, because I've come to the conclusion that I'm an impatient man. All right, I am. I want things. I want to see it now, or I want to be very clear that the next step is going to get me there. Like this,
Yeah, who doesn't, man?
Right. So, but here's what I've come to realize, and this is now my belief, and so far it's doing pretty good. Is that talking about what she just said? Faith without works is dead. Well, yeah, pretty much. I have my prayer, and I basically something like this. I say, look, Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do, but I have this feeling and I've got this idea in me, and I know that I can do this, but I can only do it with your power, with you in me. So I'm going to go for it. If it's not the right thing, please, Lord, forgive me and help me to move and pivot to the right place, to the right path. But if it is for me, then let's go. Give me that strength, give me that power, give me that ability, and let's just go. And because I realized years ago, and I haven't heard this lately, but years ago I used to hear this a lot. I used to hear, "Oh well, I'll pray about it." And I'm like, "What is this about praying about it? Like, you either do it or you don't, right?" And that's the mindset that they had. They thought, I used to hear it a lot. They thought that they were going to go home, which they don't, and sit for an hour or two, which they don't, to ask the Lord to give them a sign right there and then, so that they can come back the next day to tell me, "Oh, the Lord said it's okay." That doesn't work that way. You either by faith, right? You go, because the action is faith. If there's no action, there's no faith. So yeah, pretty much that's how I roll nowadays. Joey. Be
I
like,
love that.
I have that idea. As long as, and I taught it to my girls too. I said, as long as it doesn't harm you, it doesn't harm others, and it's a positive thing. It's not your intentions are positive, are loving. Then I just go. If it does
100%.
good,
You either,
good.
yeah, it either works out or you learn something. Like, as long we're not out to hurt the world or anything else like that, but it's like you're learning something because you needed to take the action to learn something that is not going to move you in the direction you want, or it starts to work out. It moves you in the direction you're like, wow, that kind of worked out. Let me do the next thing. So actually, let me go to these comments because there's some more coming in here. So Chris is saying the tangent rabbit hole of the present moment, the power of now. The fact that individuals are seeking and willing to be humble, asking questions, looking for answers, just shows how receptive they are to the universe. Depressed individuals can live in the present, the past, or the future is just trying to pull them backwards or forwards from their present identity. Yep. And then he says the Lord can be a pivot point or the axis one moves on that sets their direction forwards, actualizing and manifesting the reality according to his will. Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of deep stuff here, man. A lot of deep stuff, which is amazing.
This was needed to be said. And I got to share this too with you, because I just feel led to tell you this, man. This is for somebody else too, because I mentioned, I tell my girls, too, as long as it doesn't harm them, or, right, if it's love and kind. but that why I said that to them. Um, Actually, my 16-year-old, right? She understands this now better. The reason why I said that, and I told them both, I said, listen, girls, I said, you all have a specific talent. You'll learn all the talents, but this one talent you've been given since birth. I mean, that's what you've been given. And you're just gonna learn it as you grow old. You're gonna learn it. I said, but many other people in this world have the same talent like you. It's the same exact one. I said, so what makes you different is not so much the talent, but it is the experience of your life. That's what makes you unique with that talent. So you'll learn life, you'll view life as who you are, like what you live through, what you learn through, what you experience. And with that talent, when it's ignited in you, now you come with a good message. So I said, don't ever think that somebody else doesn't have the same talent, but think that they won't have the same experience as you.
Yeah, the experience is huge, and then it's how you apply it. Because I'm going through this now. Like I love this kind of stuff because I'm always looking for superpowers, unique abilities, all that. Like, what is it that's there? And one of the books, have you ever read Mastery?
No, just
Yeah,
master.
dude. Yeah, I would highly recommend you read it and everybody else read it. So Mastery is all about like who am I? What is my uniqueness? And it really showcases like how we lose that ability or we forget about our uniqueness because when we're a child, we're not really worried about what people are going to think. And then we start to grow up in teachers and no, disrespect to the teachers and the parents and all these other things, but we're guided away from what we are naturally supposed to, what we're here to do. Like, that's it. That's the one. I highly recommend it.
Got it.
Highly recommend it. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That what you just said. I mean, is what we grow up in. The environment can actually shift who you
it
are.
pulls you away. And what it'll teach you is all the stuff we're talking about right now is all of the crap you're going to go through that you need to go through in order to become the master of who you truly need to be. A lot of people never get there. They stay, they get to a job, they stay. You'll see what I'm talking about when you read it. And it's very, very powerful because it's everything we're talking about. And it also talks about a lot of apprenticeship, where in terms of, no, this is going to take you years to master what you do. Like everything that I talk about in Atlas, right? Like just do one thing, right? All this stuff is where it was like, hey, I'm on the right track here. So you become, the whole 10,000 hour thing, how many hours you actually put into something. Well, if you want to become a master at something, at your craft, at what you're here to do, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take you doing things over and over and over again in environments that may not be the best for you, but you're learning from those environments. Kind of like my 2016 to 19 thing was an environment for me to learn and go, wait a minute. And it was torture. It was hell. But it was like, I needed to go to that level to go through that in order to master what I'm doing now. I'm pretty much, I'm close to that mastery piece of what I do in Atlas. And it's not me trying to boast about being the best of everything, but I am very on that mastery level of what I do in terms of my business, helping people get that clarity and all that stuff, right? But it's only because it's the only thing that I've been doing, right? But I also feel, as I'm saying this, that there's another piece missing to the uniqueness. And it all has to do with going back to your childhood and looking at it. Like what was there? What ignited you?
Yes.
And it's not an easy process because I'm thinking back and looking at all the things I did, and I'm like, wow, what was there that I'm still, because I feel in my body that I'm close. Like my soul is driven. It's all that is there, but there's this one little quarter piece chunk that's like, dude, you get this, and it's like Iron Man. You like the whole thing, boom, right? That whole, and then it ignites, and like,
Right.
So I'm just missing that one little thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. Like that, all that work, that inner work of like, what is it
See,
and it's
that's thanks
scared.
for sharing that with me
Yeah, you're
because
welcome, man.
I did not I would not have explained that why I tell my girls the things that I talk to them about. And I think you just said it because they're going to go through the same process. And when
Yeah.
they're adults, they're going to, they may forget, but I'm making it easy for them today because I'm telling them already, look, you've got this talent and you've got this talent. Like I can see it and I'm telling them, and by faith, I'm believing that that's it. But boy, that would be so much easier for them to what you're doing. Go back. Oh, let me think about that one thing that my dad said.
I think it's a lot easier for the children of, like, for us, like the children we're bringing up, because we're in tune with it. Where in the when we were being brought up, unfortunately, that wasn't there a lot. It was like, conform to this, go to school, get a job, like, but whatever it is, it was like you kind of fit into conformity, and mastery is all about the book. And there's many more around all this, right? But this is about, no, you need to break free from what you've been led down the path of. That's not where you should be. Like that's a skill maybe, or whatever you're doing, but that's not what you need to be doing. There's another thing that needs to be there, that is there, that you have not either re-identified with, or you're not in tune with. And so that's
Yeah.
all about getting back in tune with what is making you feel ignited, everything that you do. So I'm close. Like I got a lot of igniting everything that I do, but this is
Nice.
making me think even more, because it'll give you a lot of great examples and
Yeah.
stories of Charles Darwin and Einstein, and like how all these people became masters of what they did based on just who they were as people. This is what I'm interested in. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't know the
Yeah.
story of Darwin. Did you know the story of Darwin? Like when he went to and all that,
I
like
know Einstein. Yeah.
Einstein, like all these stories is like, wow, I never really realized
Hmm.
that's how that person became the explorer, or that's how they did this. Or Henry Ford, how he was always about, tinkering things, and like,
Yes.
right. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's what you got to step into. And what I mean by this, sorry to cut you off, but it was more about, like, what I wanted to give you was props, because you're helping your daughters step into that at an early age, even if they don't truly understand it, so that when they get into the work field, let's say, and they're being just pressured by the outside world and stuff, they're always going to remember these conversations, or be open to stepping into this type of work, stepping into this type of
Yeah.
knowledge, and like, wait a minute, and not saying that I'm out, I'm going to quit this. No,
Hmm.
this is a part of my mastery. What can I learn from this? All I know is I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this job, but there's something I'm learning from this to get me closer to my mastery. That is a
What?
huge shift.
One more day. One more
Right.
day.
One more day. What can I learn from this?
One-
You'll see the examples I'm talking about in the book. It's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
incredible.
No, I think all of us
Oh,
need to learn this. This is so powerful, and it's pretty much in the end, it really all has to flow naturally, and you become the more you that you become. For, to my experience so far, the more you become, the more I have become, the more opportunities show up. It's like things happen, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a
it
really,
is.
really wonderful thing. And
I'm
and and you're gonna type what
no,
somebody?
I'm just trying to put in more of the comments here.
Oh, nice.
So there's more comments. I hope I got it all here. 18. So this is from Collie. Oh, dang it. This is from Collie again. So this is what I do with my dream clients, Joey. I am in the detective uncovering your hidden wound and sabotage patterns, so you discover your divine potential, systemic trauma expert liberating your soul. Amazing.
Wow, wow.
I know you're not sabotaging. I don't know what that means, Collie. But the systematic trauma is huge because it reveals our gift in the wound. Cool. You are very close. Thank you, Collie. And then Christopher, let me copy and paste that one. A lot of comments.
I love it.
Me too, my friend.
And I've
Okay,
got, I'm
so
gonna get that book.
mastery. Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
You'll thank me for it.
I always thank you for stuff, man. You're always right, Joey. You're always right.
Thank you. Feed my ego. I love it. I'll take it. I'll let you read that one, my friend.
Oh, the inner work of self-mastery can propel us forward to find joy through the challenges and difficulties. Sure. The resistance that pushes against the individual is actually the energy that moves one forward with the power of intention. Right. I mean, it needs to be an intentional move in our part. That's what we're talking about, right? Like you can't just believe, because faith is action. You have to act on what you believe. So, yeah, the intention has to be strong enough to make you go that one more day.
What do we talk about in Academy every week, man?
One more day.
Right? It's just no. What? Not only one more day, but it's like, what is the intent? What are
What's
you
the-
doing in this next 90 days? What are you doing this week to move you forward? Right?
Mhm.
That's everything that
What's
we're
that
talking
one
about.
thing from a whole
What's
bunch
the
of
What's the
stuff?
thing you want to do?
What's that one thing? Yeah.
And the other question here that I want to share with everyone is this. Another question is, and this is a hard one to answer sometimes, because it's like when we're not moving forward, and sometimes we're not being taught something, but it's more of, what am I resisting?
Mhm.
What am I resisting? By not doing something, right? You're resisting something. There's a resistance of some kind. I don't know what it is. It could be whatever, fear of unknown, whatever it is. Procrastination, like procrastination is about resistance. What am I resisting? So instead of beating myself up about being procrastinating and not doing things, I'm always trying to find out, what am I resisting? What
Yeah,
is it,
and
so I
it's-
can
it
identify
comes
that
down-
and remove the block.
Yeah, and it comes down to fear, you know.
A lot of it is, totally fear.
Yeah, it comes down to that. Like I would tell you, man. Honestly, I didn't even know fear existed in a deeper way. You know, to me, it was always fear. Like you're afraid of the dark, or you're afraid of dying, or you're afraid of jumping out of helicopters or planes. Like I mean, to me, that's the fear, right? But never did I realize that the fear is like what you just said, procrastination. Or just feeling the not having that energy, that spark to do that thing that you've got to do, which is procrastination. But there's always an excuse, there's always something that comes up, and you just let it.
Yeah.
The hardest part also to say, like for me, has been the hardest part for me has been uh I want everybody to like me, right? And so for me it was hard transition to basically say, look, it's okay if you like me or not. That was a really hard thing for
I
me.
know it was
And
for you, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so now it's cool, it's fine, because it comes out in my sales conversations that I have, in a nice way. I'm still me, but I like to get to that point where that was fear back. I didn't realize that was fear of losing what I thought was friendships, or the other fear was with that fear what they thought of me, or fear that they're gonna see that I don't know, stuff. Or it's so weird. Like it was really, to me, it was like, man, that's how many fears do we have?
There's a lot, and you're not the only one with that, because I as you know, like, I differ in that area, because I grew up with first of all, a not so great attitude toward, you don't like me, then screw you. And so I grew up with that. Right. So I was okay with that. But then now it's a little bit different. It's like, you don't like me, I get it, it's all good. You're in that line, I'm in this line, it's totally cool. Let's just not communicate. Like, you do your thing and I'll do mine. So I'm okay with that. So I've always been like that. So, but I know for you, like, it's been a really hard thing to, like, wow, that person doesn't like me. And so, and it holds a lot of people back, because they're trying to be liked, and it's impossible to get everybody to like you. Impossible.
Yeah.
And so if that'll hold you back from doing the thing that you need to go do, as long as the whole, the disclaimer is, you're not hurting the world. You're not trying to,
Of course.
change everything. You're not trying to be this jerk. You're just like, this is just what the way it is.
Yeah, you read it actually. Going back to the pivot year in the book, you read it. That first one, it basically
What was it?
said it said basically that rejection. Don't take rejection
Oh,
as
here it
anything
is. Yeah. See, look at,
indirect.
man, dude, I'm on today. I flipped, seriously. You can't see what's happening behind the scenes, but
That's all.
I just went, where is it? And I flipped and I stopped and it was right. It was like I'm doing a magic trick. Watch this. Is this your card? Like, I swear. It's like right onto the page, man. Here's what it is.
funny.
It says, what feels it's so cool. Like,
I
and to
know.
me, dude, like, okay, here's another crazy thing. When that happens to me, I thank my muse. I thank the universe. I go, thank you. Thank you for giving me that precision. Like, I just
Yeah, yeah,
believe it's a
yeah.
gift from the universe. Like, so anyway, what what feels on the surface like rejection is often redirection.
Right there, right there. So that right there, rejection is often redirection, and the fear that I had was that I thought rejection meant they didn't like me, and I was afraid to even make that call or
Yeah.
make that extra call. Like, I was afraid to hear the no, and it was because of that. Now, I don't know. Actually, I haven't met anybody else with a different fear, but I'd be curious to know if anybody experienced like cold calling. Let's just say cold calling, because I think that's the. I'm not. I'm not afraid of doing that now, but I was, and I can tell you that's what it was. Right? It was the fear of they rejected me,
Yeah.
and I'm not good enough for them. They don't like me, and but it was a whole nother thing for me. It's like I wanted everybody to like me, and I didn't even know that. So, compared to now, right? Obviously, I think what is it? I've done the over 1,000 calls a week. That's about 200 calls a day. By the way, I have data of that. If anybody goes out there and makes 2,000 calls, you're going to get this is the numbers, all right? You're going to get about 1 to 2 people who are interested. So it's practically 1% of about 2,000 calls. So don't beat yourself up if you're not getting more than that. Okay, that's a
Wow,
disclaimer.
dude. Wow. You know, first of all, like, wow, I can't even imagine that. And there's got to be some kind of a fear there because I don't like doing cold calls. I've never, I think the only time I did cold calls was when I was working for the newspapers back when I was 10 and 12 years old, 11 years old, and say, hey, do you want to buy a newspaper? That was the only kind of cold calling I used to do. And I just don't like it. So I'm listening to you and you're saying, oh, I feared about if they didn't like me. And I'm like, no, that's not what I fear. No, that's not right. For me, it's not right. And then I'm thinking again, like, if you ask me, like, why don't you want to do cold calls? It's because I don't want to make them feel XYZ. But then you can say, well, that's because if they feel that, then they don't like you. So you could say that, well, you feel the same thing, that you're afraid that people won't like you or respect you, right? Which is kind of cool. If I was a defense lawyer, I could probably argue the point. No, you do the same thing there, Joey, right? So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um,
but there's a different care.
yeah,
It will be different. Like you have the ability to do it, but because you're not in that world, you're totally past that. So there's no point for you to go back. Now, I will ask you this, Joey. This is
sure.
actually a good question. So
Okay.
let's just say we've talked a lot about mindset, right? This feeding the subconscious mind, having the positive attitude or the go forward attitude, being present, right, and being able to actually reach and achieve your goals and be talented enough to produce that because of who you are.
Right.
So curious to hear your answer about this. So let's say if you lost everything you've done, like tomorrow, God forbid, right? Tomorrow, you have no more clients. There's no more internet. Let's just say that. There's no more internet because that's where your business is. There's no more
Yes.
internet, and you lost everybody, and you have nothing. Like, how would you start? Like, what would you do then to start it up again? Like, what do you think would be like the first two or three things that you would actually go do to build it up again?
I'm just thinking on the spot.
Yeah.
I would probably still manufacture or create something that I could sell and go out into the street and put a table out and say, "This is what I'm selling."
You still have phones. You still have phones. Just no internet. No email, no website, but you still have a phone. You still have text
Yeah,
messages.
yeah, it's possible that I would, hey, I've got this, you know, thing and do a cold call or something to somebody, but I would probably go for the masses first, and it's the wrong word, the wrong way of positioning it, but basically put a table in front of a hungry audience. You know, like, hey, I've got hot dogs. Who's hungry? I got the stuff. Anybody want to buy this? So that's where I would go first. I've always been that person of trying to solve a problem and putting it out on display and showing people, and then like, I want that, rather than calling people up. Because I'll tell you, so maybe this will tie into like the cold calling still like really freaks me out, because the only way, like, dude, even when I did door knocking to sell newspapers, I always went on the empathy. Okay, so, and this is kind of, I'm embarrassed to say this, I lied, but anyway, I was like 12.
That's it. We're keeping track now.
so so I go to every door and I'm like, "Hi, I'm from the Star, and we're selling subscriptions, and it's only, I know you may not want it, but you know, all you gotta do is the 3 or 6 months. You can cancel it after that. I'm just trying to win a bike. It's all I'm looking for." And they're like, I would get like everybody would sign up because I went for the compassion. Oh, I want to help this dude, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so
yeah.
that I got a lot of subscriptions, and you know, thinking back, and they're like, okay, we're all kids. We make mistakes, but that was how I did it. so
Hmm. Hmm.
so I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not that guy who's gonna try to convince somebody of something. Like, I just don't want. I'd rather get in front of people and show them and demonstrate.
That's it.
And maybe I would call. Maybe I would call 25 or 50 people and say, I'm having this event or this come to this place, and I want to show you something that's really cool about this XYZ. If you want to come, it's for free and whatever. And then kind of do your like
There
webinar-ish
you go.
thingy. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
how else are you going to do it if you,
But that's it.
yeah.
I think, but you know what though? That's it. You do. It's okay for you to do
Lorna
the
says,
cold
phone me, Joey,
calls.
do that first. It's
Do
true.
that. But look, you can do it because so there's the fear, I guess. Man, if we can replay this, that would be so good. But you just said it. Let me see if I can rewind that because you just said it. Empathy.
Yeah.
Empathy. You don't know how they're going to react, and you're empathetic about that. You actually do care.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, think about your response. You said you're going to create something to go sell. Well, you can't sell to the air, it has to be people. And you gave yourself the answer where there is masses.
Yeah,
So
where there's a
you,
problem present. Like, where there's a
yeah,
problem present.
so you go to the masses, and that's your approach, but you're doing it as with empathy. You want to
What?
go
Yeah.
help with that problem. So it's not like for me, for example, that's when I do the call calls. For me, I'm calling not to act. In fact, I don't call to help. I don't. You know what I call for? I call to practice. That's what I do. I call to practice so that I can get better at my next call, and I can learn from my little spill and script on my next call, and then the next call. And so I get better and better. There has been times that when I go do that, people pick up and they're actually interested, and there've been times that I they stump me because I've been on the train of I'm just calling to practice on you. So I'm going to do this. And if you, whatever your response is, I'll make it better next time. That's it. So with you, you go to the masses. With me, I'm okay doing that one on one. But there's no fear. You have no fear of the cold call. It's just your approach.
Yeah, it's how we're doing. Yeah, yeah, because I don't know. Yeah, it's just that whole, what is a cold call? Picking up and just calling a stranger and saying, hey, and however that works out. That's what I don't do, but I'm still doing it in a sense where, if I'm on the internet, so we'll go back, let's bring the internet back. So it's like, okay, yeah. I put out a post and that's a cold call. Mm-hmm. Like that's a cold call. He's like, right. Here's what I believe, here's what I think. And so it's cold to, yes, there's people who know me and there's some people who don't, and they're reading that. So that's realistically a cold call. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel, unless somebody says something about it, negative, yep. Positive, I don't feel anything from doing that.
Yep.
Right. So exactly. I don't have that instant reaction from it. So I'm like, okay, just go do this. And that's what I mean by me going to putting out a table of something and saying, I see the problem here and I've got the solution. And for all the people who walk by, I'm like, that's whatever they feel. It doesn't bother me. But right. When I'm talking to one person at a time, like, dang. But also, see, like, you're retraining your brain, which is like, I think yes. that hopefully everybody heard what you said, because that's so. Very powerful. You're like, this is not about me selling right now. This is about me getting better at these calls. So whatever happens. And if there's a call that turns into a sale, that's fantastic.
That's a fantastic thing,
that's
right?
Great, but that wasn't the intent.
But right? That wasn't the intent. Right. So, all of this to say that you're right, Joey. We all have fears. I guess if anything, for me, it was more impactful to hear that someone didn't want to take my call, let's say, or someone basically rejected me. Mm-hmm. And for you, it really, if anything, is you want to be able to help. You don't want that person to think that you're there to take advantage of them.
Right.
You want them to know that you're there to help them, but it's okay if they tell you no. Like that does not bother you that they tell you no. What bothers you is that can you help them? And do you have what it takes to help them? And that's why you present that available, and you want to be able to be there for them. Yeah. And you wish you can do everything, right? You wish you can help them through. But seriously, this conversation it's incredible. I thought we were going to talk about something else.
I know. This is the way. This is why I love these shows.
I love it. Yes, I love it because it's just meant to. Oh, and who wrote this?
This is Lorna. You want to read it?
Oh, Lorna. One of the stories in the Success Principles is about the girl guide who won the national contest for a trip to Europe by saying she wants the trip for her mom, who is hard work. She's doing the Joey.
Yeah.
That's the empathy. Oh my goodness. This is, man. I got to tell you this, and I hope this whatever we can go on, but I have to make sure that people understand this, that no matter where you're at right now, if you see your success and you arrive or you want to get further, I'm telling you that it's really all in us. It's in our heart. It's in our subconscious mind. Like we already have it in us. And I'm personally realizing that more and more, that it's all in me. It's all in you. We just have to kind of open the door and walk through the door, the path that's already there. So be encouraged wherever you're at. Be very encouraged. It'll be fine.
Another comment up here that kind of goes exactly what you were saying there, Eddie. So let me try again. Mm-hmm. This one is from Chris. And there it is right there.
As an empath, learning to put up boundaries of light are healthy ways to separate and embrace energy in smaller doses. Empath, is that what, like an empathetic person?
Yeah, it's somebody who is...
okay.
Yeah, who can, read emotions. They just see people. They see people's soul, like, explain to me,
Okay.
Christopher, how you would suggest it. I believe I'm kind of an empath because people have told me I'm an empath, but I don't want to pretend that I know the exact definition of it. I just know that I read people really, really well. And it's a genius of me, like what I can do and read through and see someone's soul. I know what they're thinking. I know I can see beyond them, all that kind of stuff.
It's no coincidence that you went the empathetic way when your door-to-door sales, man.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
like, yes, that's just,
Just who
come
you
on, man,
are.
give me a break here. Let me help out. Like, yeah, dude, it's not one of my proudest moments, but it was innocent fun. It was like, whatever. I won a little contest or
Hey,
got some
listen, people, going back to the sales call, I can tell you that they still do it. They still, and it's so there should be a shame, but they still do it.
So Lorna says an empath that's a really great way of describing it, like absolute perfection. So here, I'm not going to read it. I'm going to actually put it on the screen because this is a great way of answering this. And this is what an empath is. So that's what an empath is. A highly sensitive person who can read energy of other people.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why I know I'm an empath, because I can read energy, I can feel it right away. It's just something where I know when somebody's BSing me. Like I know it all. Like I can see it all. Like I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
You got your
like
BS radar on.
I can see it. It's not only that. It's not BS. It's not my mind. It's not my mind. It's your soul. It's your body. It's what you can feel. It's energies. Like a BS meter is different because you're like, your brain is in the way. My brain is not in the way. It's a feeling I get. Like when I've been literally walked into people like on stages, and as soon as they walk out, I'm like, this guy's full of it. Like right away, he'll say, "Hey, my name's Eddie." I'm like, he's full of it. Because I could feel it. I'm like, okay, dude, like this. And sure enough, I'm right.
You guys better be careful with Joey. Show
I can
up
feel,
for real.
I can feel it, man. So here's what Chris says. Go here. Perceive, embrace. All right, save that, and then put it on screen. So this is what Chris says. An empath is someone who can perceive the energy of others, right, and embrace their energy almost to the point of exhaustion. That's true too. So finding balance and separating energy from others is really important. Absolutely. Wow. So like I think I'm good at that, Chris, and I think that like I can separate from the energies. Even today it happened. Like there's a lot of energies going on, and that's where kind of my superpowers come in terms of my stubbornness and my, that other area of like, that's why I say to my clients or anybody who's working with me, I go, I have the toughest skin in the world. Like you cannot break me down. I might cry, I might get emotional sometimes and stuff like that, but it's not when you're attacking me or not when you're whatever. Like I am there. Like I am your freaking rock. So that empathy is there, but at the same time, I've got this other layer of like, no, dude, I'm not backing down. I got you. I'm compassionate. I empathize with you, but you need to see this, and you can fight me till the death on this one, until you prove to me, right, that you're absolutely right. Because it's not a power struggle. It's not like, no, I'm right, you need to listen. It's more like, no, I think you're missing something here that you need to see, and I'll continue to let you do whatever you need to do, get all your emotions out and everything else. I'll be the punching bag because I'm empathetic, because I'm compassionate about helping you see the light, right? You know this, Eddie. Like you,
of course.
Like you, I don't have to tell you.
We've been through that.
Hang on a minute.
That's why at the beginning I said, Joey, you're right. You're always right. Come on now. But so I think if anything, we all require somebody who is doing this woo woo thing. The subconscious mind. We always need someone who is doing it or who's ahead of us. And I'm telling you, sharing stories like hopefully what we've shared today
Yep.
will help somebody, encourage someone to go for it. But if even again, it's just the learning experiences, right? I have sometimes felt like I'm stuck, but then that's the someone posted it, right? It's not what is it? It wasn't. It's to learn to teach you something. It's not a bump. It's not.
A bump in the road.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
a bump in the
I'm just
road,
looking through
right?
the comments there. Yeah.
Right. So, it's really all about how we see things, how we perceive things. But again, it takes disconnecting from the outside world, being present, and then downloading the right thing into your subconscious mind. And it all starts with books like The Pivot Year. That what a wonderful, what a wonderful page to read today. And the other one, the Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I mean, just little things like that. And I will tell you, I don't like to complicate things, as you know. I like you, I like simple. Just tell me the next step and I'll go. So this is, to me, this is simple. How simple can it get that every night I tell my subconscious mind exactly what it is that I'm looking after, and that I'm becoming, and that I'm being. And it's like it's all these little things exactly. And here is the vision board now, like just little things. Everything just happens immediately when you dump something good into your subconscious mind. So make it simple.
I'm
Simplify
glad that
things.
you brought this up today, Eddie. Thank you for this. Thank you for sharing a lot of your vulnerability today. Thank you, everyone in the comments. It's been so epic. You're watching this. I forgot to say hashtag live or hashtag replay, but if you're watching right now, we're at the end, hashtag replay. Let us know, or even hashtag live. I'd love to know. Thank you for being here live with us and sharing this moment or these moments with us. Great topic, man. So maybe we'll get into the sales clarity thingy or the
But you know
discovery
what?
call.
In a way, we kind of got there because I
Yeah.
didn't even think it was going to bring out those 2,000 calls. And I tell you, it was a humbling experience. But I'm glad that someone heard it. So if you haven't, go back, rewind. Just you'll find it there. But it's so cool, man. This is always my favorite topic, and especially with you, man. Just going deep into things like this and being vulnerable. It helps me a lot, and it's really
Thank you.
fun. So
Thank you.
cool stuff, man. Cool stuff today.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for being that colleague, that confidant, that friend. We've had major great experiences through since we've met, and I couldn't have done it without you, man. And I really appreciate you. You've helped me grow, and I love the brainstorms that we have back and forth too. So I'm glad that everyone gets to see us do it live. So thank you.
I
Any
That's awesome,
yeah, any final words before we say goodbye for another Tuesday night here?
man. No, man. Just really, just if anything, pick up one of those two books. Just go and read it, and if you have it, do it. That's it. Just Nike.
Just, I love it, my friend. I love it. All right, we
Also,
will see everyone. We'll see you on next Tuesday for another Heart Center Marketing Show. Who knows where it will go? But hey, if you enjoyed this conversation, let us know. Put it in the comments. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. I see them. I really appreciate you. You've been with us here. Man, I don't even remember when we started this thing. It was like 4 years ago, something like that. It's crazy. Like it's really, really great.
crazy.
So I couldn't do it without you as well for watching live and watching on the replay. We will see you next Tuesday night. Bye for now.